Hello everybody, my name is Idris. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on creating a simple web banner using Adobe Photoshop. Specifically, this tutorial is going to be just on showing you how to set up the layers or understanding of Photoshop layers. So in here, the tool that I'm using is actually the CS4 edition of Photoshop. But what I'm going to be teaching you guys is going to be something you can use even with earlier versions of Photoshop, even before CS2. So the first thing we want to do is actually to figure out the size of our banner, right? So in this case, we're going to go ahead and actually set up a banner with a width of 640 pixels and a height of 100 pixels. Now you can go ahead and change this, or you can use one of the default ones, but I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with what I have right now. So this is my banner, and the thing that I want you guys to learn from this first tutorial is to understand how layers work in Photoshop. So in here, anything you do in Photoshop generates a layer. And just to give you an example of that is I'm going to go ahead and create some shapes. So I'm going to go and create a rectangle, and if you look at your layers here, it should have created that layer, and so I'm going to go ahead and actually create another layer in here, and see, it's actually creating these different types of layers. I'm going to go ahead and create a circle. So right now I have 3 layers with 3 different shapes, and if I write anything like hello, that also creates a layer called hello. And the cool thing about the layers within Photoshop is that you can actually create designs specifically just for that layer. Just to illustrate this, I'm going to go ahead and actually try to create some style on hello. So one thing you can do is the first thing you do is you highlight this, and you can go ahead and go to layer and go to layer style, so you can drop shadow and whatnot, right? But the shortcut would be to just double click on this bar, and in here, double clicking on it creates my layer style, which can also be accessed by going here, but that's actually being blocked right now because I have my layer style up. So I can create drop shadows if I wanted to, inner shadows, or drop shadow and an outer glow, right? Inner shadow and an inner glow, maybe. But in here you should be able to get the basic idea of how layers actually work. And this is going to be very important when you're playing around with Photoshop, because everything that you do in here is based on layers. I'm gonna stop the tutorial in here for now. The next tutorial would be just how to set up or how to design text styles in Photoshop.